You're 19 years old, standing in a Moscow courtroom in 1937. The judge just sentenced you to 10 years hard labour for a joke. Not a crime. A joke. You called Stalin's mustache a dead caterpillar at a factory meeting and someone reported you. 3 people laughed. 1 wrote your name down. Now you're property of the Gulag system, and your life as Pablo the Welder just ended. Your life as prisoner number 4827 has begun. They shave your head with rusty clippers that tear more than cut. Your scalp bleeds. No one cares. They strip you naked in a room colder than a meat locker, throwing you a uniform that smells like the last guy who wore it probably died in it. The fabric is stiff with old sweat and something darker you don't want to think about. It doesn't fit. Nothing here fits. Not the clothes, not the logic, not the reality that you're about to spend a decade in hell for 6 words. The train ride north takes 11 days. You're packed into a cattle car with 40 other men standing room only. The air is thick with the stench of unwashed bodies and human waste. There's 1 bucket in the corner for everyone. It overflows on day 2. A man near you collapses from typhus. His body stays wedged upright between you and the others because there's nowhere for it to fall. You learn to sleep standing up, knees locked, head bobbing. When the train finally stops, you stumble out into Siberian cold that punches the air from your lungs. Welcome to Kolyma, the coldest gulag in the Soviet system, where winter temperatures drop to -60, and summer means it only freezes at night. You're marched 15 miles through snow to a labour camp that looks like it was designed by someone who hates humans. Wooden barracks lean at angles that defy physics. Barbed wire fences stretch into white infinity. Guard towers loom with searchlights that sweep the compound like predator eyes. Your first night, you're assigned a bunk. Calling it a bunk is generous. It's a wooden plank you share with 2 other men, no mattress, 1 thin blanket between the 3 of you. The man on your left is missing 3 fingers. The man on your right coughs blood into his palm and wipes it on the wall where dozens of other stains have dried before his. You don't ask questions. Questions waste energy, and energy is currency here. 4 a.m. A bell clangs like a hammer to the skull. You have 10 minutes to dress, use the latrine, a frozen pit where men squat shoulder to shoulder and line up for breakfast. Breakfast is a ladle of watery soup with a chunk of black bread, so hard it could double as a weapon. You eat it anyway, forcing down every crumb because this is fuel, and without fuel you're dead. The soup tastes like hot dishwater with a hint of rotten cabbage. You'll learn to love it. Then comes work. You're handed a pickaxe and marched to a gold mine where you'll spend the next 12 hours breaking rocks in temperatures that freeze spit before it hits the ground. Your hands blister within an hour. The blisters pop and freeze to the wooden handle. When you try to let go during the brief water break, skin tears off with the ice. A guard watches, rifle ready, face expressionless. He doesn't see you as human. You're a quota, a number that must move a certain amount of rock or face consequences. The man beside you, an old teacher named Dmitri, whispers the survival rules while swinging his axe. Never volunteer for anything. Never finish your work quota early or they'll increase it. Never look guards in the eye. Never trust anyone completely. Never show weakness. Never stop moving, even when your body begs you to lie down in the snow and sleep forever. That sleep is death, and death is exactly what this place is designed to deliver, slowly, methodically, efficiently. By noon, your shoulders scream. By evening, you can't feel your feet. When the bell finally rings, you shuffle back to camp in a line of broken men, and you realise something that makes your stomach drop. This was just day 1. You survive day 1, then day 2, then you stop counting because numbers mean hope, and hope is a luxury that will kill you faster than the cold. The routine becomes automatic. Wake, eat, mine, sleep, repeat. Your body moves like a machine running on fumes and fear. The mine is a throat of darkness that swallows you each morning. You descend on rickety ladders into tunnels barely wide enough for shoulders, where the air tastes like copper and desperation. The walls weep with ice. Your breath creates clouds that freeze on your beard, turning it into a mask of white crystals. You swing the pickaxe until your muscles forget what rest feels like. Rock chips fly, some embedding in your cheeks, drawing blood that freezes in crimson streaks. The guards demand 5 carts of ore per man per day. Fall short and your rations get cut too many times, and you join the corpses stacked like firewood behind the barracks, waiting for spring thaw to make burial possible. Winter is the killer here. Men die in their sleep, frozen solid by morning. You wake one day to find the man on your left has stopped breathing, his eyes open, staring at nothing. You and your bunkmate don't report it immediately. Instead, you prop him up for morning roll call, claim his bread ration, then let him collapse after the guards leave. It's not cruelty, it's mathematics. His calories buy you another day. The guards eventually notice and drag him out by his ankles, leaving a trail in the snow like someone pulled a sack of grain across the yard. Disease spreads like gossip. Typhus, dysentery, tuberculosis. The infirmary is just a room where men go to die slightly warmer than outside. You avoid it at all costs. A fever means missing work. Missing work means reduced rations. Reduced rations mean you're already dead. Your body just hasn't figured it out yet. You watch men waste away, skin pulling tight over skulls, eyes sinking into dark hollows. They stop talking first, then walking, then breathing. Dmitri, the old teacher, becomes your anchor to sanity. He recites poetry while swinging his pickaxe, Pushkin and Lermontov under his breath, words that float up through frozen air like prayers. He teaches you a trick. Focus on one small thing each day. The pattern of ice crystals on a window, the way steam rises from morning soup, a bird that somehow survives out here, hopping between snowdrifts. These tiny observations become acts of rebellion, proof that you're still human, still capable of noticing beauty in hell, but Dmitri doesn't make it. One morning, he simply doesn't get up. No warning, no goodbye, just gone. You inherit his extra sock, the one he kept hidden, and you cry for the first time since arriving. Not loud, just silent tears that freeze on your face. Then you stop crying, put on the sock, and go to work. Because that's what survival looks like here. You absorb the dead and keep moving. 3 years pass, maybe 4. Time loses meaning when every day is identical. Your body is a collection of scars, frostbite damage, and bones that jut through skin. You're 30 pounds lighter, 20 years older in appearance, but you're alive. Then one morning, the impossible happens. A guard calls your name, your sentence is commuted, Stalin is dead, and the new government is releasing political prisoners. You're free. Free. The word sounds fake. You're handed a paper, some rubles, and escorted to the camp gate. You stand there, looking at the open road, and your legs won't move. A guard shoves you forward. You stumble into freedom, and it feels like falling. You'll spend the rest of your life trying to forget Kolyma, but your hands will always shake in the cold, your stomach will never fully trust a full meal, and you'll wake up at 4 a.m. for decades, phantom bells clanging in your skull. You survived the Gulag, but part of you is still there, frozen in that mine, swinging a pickaxe into darkness, wondering if the next swing will be your last. Pablo, prisoner 4827, made it out. Most didn't. Of the millions who entered the Gulag system, roughly 1 in 5 never left. They're still there, buried in permafrost, reduced to numbers in ledgers that were classified for decades. You survived because of luck, ruthlessness, and the ability to turn yourself into something less than human just long enough to stay alive. But here's what they don't tell you about surviving the unsurvivable. You don't get to leave it behind. The Gulag follows you home. It sits at your dinner table. It whispers when you close your eyes. You'll flinch at loud noises for the rest of your life, hoard bread you don't need, and never fully trust that the warmth around you is real. Freedom, it turns out, is just a different kind of sentence, one you'll serve until your last breath, carrying the weight of those who didn't make it out, their faces frozen in your memory like the Siberian landscape that tried to erase you both. You wanted to survive. You did. Now you have to figure out what that actually means.